All right, guys, question and answers. There are a few questions I need to get to and try to answer them the best way that I can. And and I can understand this first question I'm going to talk about here. A lot of you guys watch, keep an eye on my top 10. And then I've gotten this question within the last 8 months, and I want to, and it's kind of hard for me to answer it. Like whenever you guys ask me, it's kind of hard for me to answer it until I'm talking to you about why I do things, and I don't have a bat in here to show you. But the question was, and I know a lot of you guys are curious about this, is I have talked about my Johnny Bailey being my gamer. And then I get the question as, if Johnny Bailey's your gamer, why don't you have it as number one? And why do you have the Suncoast at number one if you're not swinging it? Well, the one thing, my top three, I think, are pretty close to each other. I still think the Suncoast is better than the Johnny Bailey. I think the Adidas two-piece is better than the Johnny Bailey. I do love that thin handle of the Suncoast. But the thing about it is when you get past, in my opinion, when you get past number 3 to going into number 4, I think the gap widens a little bit more. And 4, 5 are pretty much together. And then 6, I think it widens a little bit more. And then you get into the Worth and Mikens. I almost said DeMarini there. You get into the Worths and Mikens where they're pretty much close to each other. So the way my top 10 is all of them are not just packed together and you can just pick a bat out of there. I think there's 5 or 6 of them that are pretty close, and then you get a gap, and then there's one, and then you get the top 3, which are pretty far away from the bottom 3. Now, let me explain to you why I picked the Johnny Bailey as my gamer, because that's the last bat that I reviewed at the beginning of the year. From going into the later last year into the beginning of January, February, and we played one tournament, a 60s tournament here in San Antonio, and I swung the Johnny Bailey in that bat, in that tournament. But what I want to talk about is a lot of you guys are thinking, I put Suncoast as number 1, why I'm not swinging it, because I wasn't swinging it whenever I was doing the review on the Johnny Bailey. Let me explain myself. I was used to the swinging weight in the Johnny Bailey, and Billy has talked about this in a few videos. I've hit that bat probably for a good 2 months, 3 months, because of the weather, the way the weather was going during that time. We would lay off a week or two, and then we'd go out and start hitting again, and we're trying to get a feel of the Johnny Bailey. So my body was used to swinging the Johnny Bailey. So for me to go back in the tournament we had coming up within 3 weeks, for me to go back and start swinging a Suncoast, which I do have them, swinging a Suncoast at my house, it would take me longer than 2 or 3 weeks to actually get used to the swinging weight of the Suncoast, because that's how far away they are from each other, the Suncoast being a Johnny Bailey. You got a thinner handle, you got to get used to that. So the reason that I whenever you're getting into my top 5, I can swing any of my top 5 right now in games. When it gets below that, it's going to take me a little bit while, to get into it, longer to get into it, as I would say. But the reason is because I wasn't used to swinging it. I wasn't used to swinging the Suncoast. Now, I'm used to swinging the Johnny Bailey. I feel good swinging the Johnny Bailey. And when you get close to my top 5, it's what you're used to swinging. A lot of people say, well, it's what feels good in your hands. Well, I just think that phrase that they put out there is what I've been swinging, because it feels good in the hands. If you're used to swinging a combat, not necessarily combat's gone, but I'm going to use them as an example because they're not out there and they can't bitch and moan about me picking combat. If you're used to swinging a combat and I throw a Miken Big Cat 2020 at them, they're not going to like swinging it because the swing's totally different than a combat. So combats is what what feels good in your hands, but it's not necessarily the primo bat, the top tier bat. That's how come a lot of these guys start talking about what feels good in your hands. Well, what feels good in my hands is the Johnny Bailey because I'm used to swinging it. All right, but when you get close to the top of my tier, you can pick with any one of those bats and swing it. You know what would feel good in my hands? If I start swinging a Suncoast for about 3 months and got used to swinging it, got used to the thin handle, got used to the everything on it, the way it's loaded, because it is loaded different than the Bailey. It's got more dense mass on the end. The Bailey has a little bit bigger mass on the end, less dense mass, and I think those swing different. 12-inch swings different than a 13-inch, 14-inch, 15-inch, whatever. So I think that's the things that I look into it whenever I'm picking a bat. But basically, to answer your question was, I was just used to swinging the Bailey. That's how come I said it's probably going to be my gamer. And that what it really sucks about it, I hate to do this to you guys, you know, because we haven't been swinging, because we have been locked down. We can't hit at Converse anymore. They kicked us out. That last video you seen last week is our last video we have there. And the tournament director, the actually park guy came out and he said, y'all guys can't hit her anymore until further notice. And we've been hitting out there for 2-3 years, and they know us. But until something is available for us to hit on, we're kind of in limbo right now. But and like I was talking about, just to screw you guys up now, I really do like the way the Larry Carter and the Denny swing. Now I'm kind of looking at the Johnny Bailey going, wow, I'm getting that good a performance on these bats. And I'm not going to try to get way ahead of myself here because the reviews haven't been out, but I like the way those bats perform. And what sucks about it is I'm getting used to the swinging weight of those bats. So until it gets hard for me to go back to the Johnny Bailey, you know, I'll quit, because I got to finish up the review on the DeMarini. So I'll keep swinging the DeMarinis, and I might go to a DeMarini. You don't know if it's gonna fit in my top 5. You know, that's like me saying, okay, let's say the Bobby Nifong. If I started swinging the Bobby Nifong for a couple of months, you know, I can get used to that swinging weight, because the Nifongs are weighted really, really heavy on the end. I call them a Supermax end load. They talk about the Eastons that are coming out right now, and I'm getting way ahead of myself. I'm kind of finished talking about that, but they talk about the Eastons coming out right now, you know, and I got one of the Ron Parnell Supermax, or what do they call it, extra end load. Well, it's not an extra end load. It swings, if you look at the handle weight, you look at the knob weight and the end weight, it does have some mass on 27 ounces. It does have some mass on the end, but nothing like the Nifong and nothing like the McCarran or any of the Dudley bats. There's nothing like that. And your damn handle weight on a 27 ounce, 10 ounces. That's more of a mid load, guys. That's more of a mid load, because you do have the mass on the end, the upper 6s on a 27 ounce. So it's not, a lot of you guys are saying it's got a big, it doesn't have a big end load. It doesn't, because it's got a big handle weight on it. 2 ounces more in the handle than are in the Dudleys. In that Easton, it's got 2 ounces. And it's supposed to be like a Supermax end load. It's got 2 ounces more in the hands. It doesn't at the Dudleys. The Nifong, you know, even the 2-piece bats that are coming out right now, they got very little handle weight in those bats, so it swings more like a sledge in the Dudleys. So going back to what I was talking about, I'm swinging the Bailey because I'm used to swinging it. I just finished up on a review, and it took a long time because I was putting that bat in the top 5, and I take a little longer, so I swing it a little longer, and my body just got used to swinging it. So that's how come I was going to be my gamer. Now, what sucks about that is the only bat I've been swinging for the last 2.5 months, DeMarinis. So is that going to be my gamer now? Because I've actually graduated, you know, my mind's getting used to, my body's getting used to doing those swinging weights with those bats. Don't know yet. You guys have to stay tuned to that one, and I'm not going to put too much out there. Dave, check out the Ball Bandit. It's a back saver on picking up balls. This guy sent me this guy. Name's Kevin. Not going to try to pronounce your last name, Kevin. Ball Buddy, another one, the Ball Bandit. It's these little tubes, I guess, is what you do. You walk around, you picking them up. I had people out using those I'm not a real big fan, and I'll tell you the reason why. For years I've been doing it this way, and I kind of don't want to get away from it. The reason is here's the deal. When you have a tube on you, when you have a tube on you, and you're going around picking up balls, you can only pick up like 10, 12 balls in that tube, and then you got to dump them somewhere. So really you got to carry a basket with you to do that. So you got to go around picking up, carry the basket, put it in there, and yes, it does save your back. I've tried them. They do save your back. But the way we do our picking up the balls, the way we do our shagging, we have 3 bags of balls. We have up to 5 guys hitting with us at a time. We get out there and we'll hit the whole 3 bags, and we're usually done. It's 3 different rounds, up to 20, 25 swings around, and then we're done. Well, those balls are up against the, and I don't have a bat to show you guys. Those balls are all in the field, usually center to left center. There's a few to right because if we go oppo, practice oppo. But what we do is a workout routine after we actually get done hitting. And it's taking the lightest bat. And Billy taught me this back in the day too, was you take the lightest bat and you go out there and you start swinging and popping those balls up against the fence, and you go backside and you'll hit them off the ground, and you'll go front side. So you're doing some forearm work, and you do it on your left and your right hand side. Is you'll sit there and you'll pop it with your wrist on the ground. I'll do a video on this, show you guys how we do this later, but we do this religiously every time, and everybody does it. And it's just like a little workout routine after we're done hitting, and then you get a lot of forearm work because you're doing it backside and you're doing it front side, and we're using the bat as a chipper, and we're hitting the ball up against the fence, and we got to hit it twice. We're going to hit it twice to get it up against the fence. Then we get them in piles. There's usually 2 or 3 different piles, and then we go down, and me and Billy get Bubba and Trey bend down and pick them up. I mean, that's just the way we do it. But we would have to get down when we were younger. We'd have to get down and pick them up. But you would be surprised, guys, on the forearm workout you get doing that, and it's you just sitting there and you're just taking that bat, and you're just popping it. You're exploding with it. You're using explosive movement to hit that ball up against the fence, and your forearms are screaming when you're done. I've actually had to rest because my forearms just got so pumped from doing that constantly, just whack, whack. And what we're doing is hitting those balls that are on the ground up against the fence. We don't bend down and pick them up and hit them. We hit them on the ground with a light bat, or a bat that doesn't have an end load in it, and we'll sit there and use explosive movements to do that. That's why we don't use the ball picker upper, because we'd have to carry the cart around, put it in there, dump them in there, carry the cart around. It's just a pain in the ass to go around and do that. A lot of people do it. I have no problem with you guys doing it. It's just that we have a routine because we do workouts after we hit, and it's usually a forearm workout when we're doing all that stuff. So how much time I got? I got time for one more here. It says, this is from Daniel. Do you see the senior league switching from a 44 375 ball to a 252 300? Thanks, Dan. Do I see senior league switching balls? No, I don't. And here's the reason why. I think a lot of the senior leagues like hitting hot balls. I think if they tried doing it for safety reasons, they would get a big feedback from a lot of the older guys that actually like hitting hotter balls. And the reason I know this, because there was a big complaint. They were hitting the Trump balls years back before the Trump got any better like nowadays. But they were hitting that Trump piece of shit ball a few years back, and the biggest complaint from any senior starting from 50s, well, then they got 40s coming out at our league, is the ball sucked. A lot of people do not like, I don't care how hot the bats are, a lot of people do not like hitting shitty balls. The 52 300 is a shitty ball. A lot of you guys are saying, it's not going to hurt when it hits you. Any ball hurts is going to hit you. Any ball that hits you is going to hurt you. We have pitching screens. I really don't think a lot. I think a few leagues will, not a lot, but a few leagues will actually try that. I just don't think they'll stay with it. I really don't, because there's going to be too big of a complaint. Like, I don't care who you are. A lot of guys like hitting home runs. A lot of you older guys like hitting home runs. It's been like that for years, guys. Ever since I started playing back in the 80s, it's been like that. It's not going to change to go to a shittier ball because you're trying to help people. I just don't see it going that way. There's so many things. We have pitching screens where we play now. Kind of protects the pitcher a little bit, but I don't see them switching to a. And I know a few of you guys out there of North Texas and stuff talk about they need to start going to these balls, and I don't see it happening. I really don't, because too many people out there like hitting hot balls. I mean, call hot balls 44 375 compression, rocks, the Thunder Advances. I really do like hitting those balls. I don't think they're super balls, but I like hitting those balls. This last one is from Chuck. Dave, are your t-shirts you're selling on the website dry fit? Also, do they run in small sizes? Debating between an extra large and a double extra large. They run that I have on the website, and I have on my YouTube channel. My t-shirts are up and running. The only bad part about that is none of them are dry fit. And I feel for you guys. I wear dry fit. Everything I have is dry fit. So I love swing. I love it when I'll never go back to wearing cotton or 50-50 or wool or whatever. I won't go back to doing that shit. It just feels so much comfortable in a dry fit. My body breathes in it. When it's hot outside, I feel cool. When it's cold outside, I feel warm. That's one thing at dry fit, Under Armour dry fit. This is, my wife bought me this one. It's the Nike one, which I don't like as much as the Under Armour, but that's just me. She's a Nike girl, so she buys me Nike stuff. No. And I'm trying to talk to him about getting a dry fit going. I think that would be awesome, because a lot of people out there actually like dry fit, and I love dry fit. My t-shirts are up and going. It's got a few on there. It's got a few sweatshirts on there. I just added some more, and there's some more artwork I'm going to put on there about some senior stuff that is going to make it a little bit more bigger, but I don't pay attention too much to that. I don't even go into it. I just put stuff on there, and if you guys want to buy something, I don't really push it a lot, as you guys might see. I don't push my t-shirts a lot. If you guys want to buy I think it's a relaxed fit, I think is what the t-shirt is on there. You can get the link down below and click on it, but no, they're not dry fit, and they do fit true to size. Maybe run it a little bit small, not much. Double extra large fits me when it comes to that pretty good. And I'm in between a extra large, and it all depends, in between an extra large and a double extra large, but double extra large fits me pretty good. A little tight, but it fits me. That's it, guys. I'm gonna try to put these out. As you can see, I got a lot of stuff coming out during the day. I'm actually going back into my disk drive, my flash drive, and I'm trying to find a lot of old stuff I can put out there. A lot of stuff with Billy talking. I've got to get Billy. Excuse me. I got to get Billy's okay on all this, because there was something he was talking about the other day, and I was going to put it up, and I started listening to it, and it's from me audio taping him sitting down and eating with us, and he starts going off about the old days, and I couldn't put that in there. It's too he gets way too in deep about all this stuff that went on back in the day, and maybe I'll write a book about that, but I don't think I'm going to put that on YouTube. And I kind of talked to Billy the other day about it. I said, yeah, we were talking the other day when we were eating a long time ago, 9 months ago, and he knew the tape was on, but he was just talking about all the old school softball and what they did back in the day, and partying and just doing stuff, and little jokes they play on each other. And I said, I don't think I can really put that on YouTube. And but I everything that I do, Billy looks at it, and one thing about Billy is he's kind of quiet, but when you get him talking about bats, loading, You get him talking about how to swing, how to torque, you know, what muscles do you use whenever you're doing all this. And he's really smart. I mean, he's really knowledgeable when it comes to doing that, and you cannot get him to stop. I mean, once you get him going, I mean, he's just like an encyclopedia. You just want to stay in there and stay engaged and get as much information from him as you can, because he is right on a lot of stuff. And I think the videos that we have coming out in the future is going to be a lot of Billy talking to players about swings and how to generate weight transfer. You know, that's another thing too he talks about. How to use the lightest bat that you can with a big end load, more like a sledge. You know, just little things like that I think would help a lot of seniors out there. I'll try to get these videos coming out pretty soon during this downtime that we have, and hopefully we'll get out there and we'll start swinging the DeMaries, and I got the Eastons coming up for that too. But guys, main thing is stay safe out there. Don't get out if you have to. If you got an underlying condition, stay at home. It's not worth it to get out and have somebody do your errands for you. Stay hydrated. Stay up with your vitamin D, vitamins, guys, your vitamin C, anything that's going to boost your immune system. Eat healthy. That's another thing too. Drink plenty of water. Thanks, guys.